Hello, everyone. Skylar, how are you doing? I'm just gonna wait for people to trickle in a little bit. Hello, Sonic Echo. How are you doing today? Jalix, welcome. I am doing wonderfully, actually. I feel kind of chill today. Looking forward to playing some Staxel. Want to talk a bit about the Senate race in Georgia that's coming up. Kind of mix the worlds of politics and Staxel. See if we can finally get to some portals today. Oh, I'm sorry you're tired, Skylar. Also, Jalix, how are you doing? Oh, Skylar, I appreciate that you're checking out my videos, but definitely feel like you can rest up if you're tired and if that's the reason why you haven't been able to see my video. Good to hear. Good to hear, Jalix. Just gonna give it another minute or so for people to trickle in, and then we can get into things. You had a rough last week? I'm thinking that when it comes to Staxel today, I'm going to try to just focus on some farming stuff. Try to finish up some of the buildings we've been working on and try to get to those portals on the 14th and 15th. Yeah, I'm sorry your past few weeks have been really hard, Jalix. I hope that the chillness of the streams can provide you some relief with what's been bothering you. And Skylar, awesome on the cookies. You just keep making those cookies. I keep seeing them in the posts on Discord. That's awesome. Where were we? Oh, I really should do that, shouldn't I? Whoa, why did that load in so weird? I think it glitched. Hold up. The graphics on that were really weird. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm restarting Staxel. That was really weird. Yeah, game kind of crashed on me. Okay. Okay. Let's switch back over. Nope. Why are you not picking up the game? There we go. Skylar, you were fixing a radio? That's really cool. Hmm. Do I have a corrupted save file? That is not looking good. Yeah, I don't know what happened. That is really strange. I hope it didn't corrupt. There we go. Okay. No, we're back. Thank goodness, because I would have missed you, Base Cat. Base Cat gave us a lamp. Isn't Base Cat the best? Where do we want to put this lamp? Let's put it right next to the bed. It's a little paw lamp. Look at that, it like brightens up the room. Base Cat, what are you doing? They are the best carpenter cat. Aw. Come on, we're gonna go check on Comrade Cow. Aw, Base Cow loves us. Base Cow's giving us lots of milk. And let's get some food for your other trout. We need trout food. There we go. You're gonna blow a lot of money on clothing and you don't know why? I mean, my instinct is to immediately ask you why, and I don't feel like you have an adequate response to that since you don't know why. Well, that's a reason, isn't it? We can stack ladybugs. That's awesome. We can put our fossils away. Star bits. I mean, yeah, for it's certainly a good enough reason, right? Especially if you're in a place that you can access that and stuff. Why not? Do the star jellies stack? They do stack. Okay, that's good. Oh wow, you have a 3D printer? That is so cool. Do you make models with it, or... Like, do you know how to do the designs and stuff, or do you just, like, print other people's models? Oh, okay. What are you planning on using it for? Like, do you have any, like, projects in mind with it, or... You just gonna play around with it and have fun? Miniature painting? What goes into miniature painting? Like, what is that about? Like, as opposed to just, like, non-miniature painting. We are gonna have so many watermelons to sell. A blue bunny phone? We have a yellow bunny phone and a blue bunny phone now. People need to stop dropping their phones in my yard. Oh, okay. That's really cool. I didn't even know that was a thing. I think when I was little, like, there used to be, like, these little model car things that you could do that kind of stuff with. But to be able to 3D print something and do that, that sounds awesome. Do you use, like, acrylic paints, or is there, like, a specific type of paint that you would use for that? Let's see what Rhea has to say. Oh yeah, I was supposed to finish building that for her. She wants her fishing spot, which I put over there. Okay, good. I'm glad that shows up on the map. We got our crops watered. How are you out of your house? If anybody wasn't here last time, we literally built a wall around Oscar's house because Oscar is actually the secret police with a secret dungeon under his home, and he keeps escaping. I don't know how he does it. I literally built a fortress of mud around his entire space. There are specific model paints. That's something I definitely would have to look into, because that really sounds cool, the idea of just being able to make like a 3D coloring book kind of thing. With the high pigment paints. Sounds really relaxing. I should sell the milk that we have. Comrade Cookie Cow's, helping support the farm. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Like, having a steady hand has gotta be really good for that. Let's see. I needed to find some rhinoceros beetles. That's what I needed to find. And then I gotta finish building this, which means I gotta get more rocks. If anybody sees a rhinoceros beetle, let me know, in case I miss it. I'm sure there's like a whole art form and process to it, right? Like, you know, there's always that surface level. Yeah, I'm painting, but then there's like mixing in techniques and different forms of like stylization. Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is. Let's see. Is there like a specific type of tree that the rhinoceros beetles end up, Art is amazing. I wish I was more artistic. I wish that I had the capacity to do more with eat bug. No, I'm not going to eat the bug. I need the bug to make a bait box so we can, I'm not going to eat the bug. I don't think that's an option. The game doesn't give me the option to eat the bug. Oh, cats are amazing hunters when it comes to insects. I literally watched a cat rip a centipede in half once. That was one of the coolest things I ever saw. Munchkin likes to hunt flies. Munchkin was adorable. Butterflies. I'm just gonna catch all the insects now. Oh, that's a moth. Oh, wow. What do I need to look for to find a rhinoceros beetle? Yeah, Munchkin was the cutest little bundle of love in that picture. And that lighting made the cat look completely holy. Like, it was just basking in the light of the universe. The lighting actually really worked for that. Like, I know that you had, I can't eat the beetle, Skylar. I can't eat the beetle. I don't want to eat the beetle. I can't eat the beetle. Look, there's no option. I'm trying. I'm trying to eat the beetle for you, and it won't let me. But, yeah, I saw that you ate the ants. But yeah, the lighting on that photo was really cool, even though I know you were doing it with your laptop camera. Like, it just worked out, right? Sometimes we get those, as Bob Ross used to say, happy little accidents. I'm sure. Hey, you know, things work out, right? Sometimes they just work out. Let's see. Is that it? That's it? We found one. There we go. We have another rhino beetle. And now we can make our bait box. That is life, yeah. You know, sometimes you think that everything is just going completely against you. And, you know, you're doing things strange or wrong or whatever, and then it just kind of gets into a flow and works. I know for myself I tend to, Oh yeah, the fact that it's random does make it interesting. I know for myself sometimes I spend a little bit too much time, like, overthinking about things like that. Like, oh, I could have done this better, or I could have done that better. And I think when you spend that much time, like, I think I have a tendency at least to overdo it. Where sometimes I wish I could just go with the flow a little bit more and just, I guess, figure out how to accept the fact that I have limitations and stuff like that in that particular way. Like, I can't always be at my best 100% of the time. And the thing that I envision in my head isn't always going to be the thing that I create or produce. But sometimes it's just good enough. And that's okay too. Em, you finally made the cookies. That's exciting. Welcome. How are you today? Hello, Vamp. How are you? Well, you know what? You do show up, and that is appreciated. We were just talking about how, oh my goodness. Yeah, I think we're all gonna want cookies before this is done. Oh yeah, I just got that rhinoceros beetle, so I can make my tackle box. Or bait box, or whatever it is. Alex, welcome. How are you doing today? Everyone who's arrived and kind of trickled in, how's everyone doing? Because I'm having a great day. I just caught a rhinoceros beetle. I'm chilling in Staxel. I have had to learn that even though one may have an intention for something to come out a certain way, the outcome can be different. We have to be flexible and open to the outcome. Very true. Very true. I think that's a lesson we could all internalize a little more. Being flexible and open about outcomes when things don't always go our way. It's a lesson I definitely need to spend more time practicing myself. No, this is totally the cookie channel. Do you not Do you not realize what we've done? Every time we talk about cookies, it's about Cookie Cow. It's Comrade Cookie Cow. Comrade Cookie Cow produces the milk for the people who are able to drink milk to enjoy their cookies. Comrade Cookie Cow saves the day. Based and cool indeed. There's healing and letting go of expectations. Not that we shouldn't have standards or goals or anything, but sometimes it's just good to be able to deal with things as they come when they come. Very, very true. You got a pamphlet of recipes for Christmas cookies from your school? That's awesome. What kind of cookies? Are you looking forward to any in particular, or are you gonna make any? Let's see, it was sheet metal, nails, and rhinoceros beetle, right? And maybe lumber? How did I check this again? Bait box. Lumber, sheet metal, nails, and 2 rhinoceros beetles. Put the beetles, the nails, the sheet metal, and the lumber. Is it not on assemble? Carve. Carve the lumber. How do you carve? I do not know how to carve. Would somebody mind checking the wiki super quick for me and check how to carve in this game? Thank you, Jalix. I appreciate it. Base Cat brought us another gift. It's another table. Why are you a carpenter, kitty? How do you do that with your paws and your not opposable thumbs? Welcome, King John. Yeah, Base Cat is the best. Best carpenter cat we've ever found. Only carpenter cat I've ever seen before. You got your medical card and have yet to buy a... Oh! You should, That cat is a god. Are you planning on buying those cookies? Roll? I'm out of water. I just filled it. Also, it's... Base Cat is floating. Base Cat is officially levitating. There's another table for carving. It's available in Eliza's craft store. Okay, I'll have to take a look. Thank you, Jalix. So, did anybody else hear about the fact that the Republican Party is, infighting about the Georgia elections? Yeah, so basically, the Senate, the Senate, races that are being done in Georgia, a lot of the people who are in the Republican Party and have been claiming that the election is fake and fraudulent and all this stuff are kind of protesting the election for the senator. So we might actually be able to sneak out those 2 seats for the Democrats. Trump is actually supposed to go down there and try to convince all the people down there to actually vote. And has this kind of weird duality going on where he's like, yes, elections are completely fraudulent, but actually you should all go out and vote. And a lot of people are not buying it. Kind of with the mentality of, oh, well, if we vote, the Democrats are just going to steal it anyway. So the Republican Party's whole issue about trying to get Trump back into power is just completely messing them up. And if you're not familiar with, like, how important those 2 seats are, those 2 seats in the Senate are going to be the difference between whether or not the Democrats are able to pass any legislation probably over the next at least 2 years. If they get the 2 seats in the runoff, and it kind of feels like we're doing the election all over again, weirdly enough, from my perspective, like, everybody's just gathering in Georgia, trying to get these 2 candidates, and these 2 seats in the Senate, because it really hinges a lot of the political debate over the next 2 years, even probably more so than the Biden election did. Because it's going to determine whether or not the Democrats are just sitting there with nothing for 2 years. It's actually, the brain power is amazing in the Republicans. I hope the Dems get the 2 seats in the runoff in January. I mean, chances are they're going to, the way that things are going, right? If the Republicans decide not to show up to vote. And let's hope that they don't, you know? It would be really great to get both those seats. And Mitch McConnell, if he remains the Senate Majority Leader, is just going to block every single piece of legislature. And I doubt we'll get stimulus. I doubt we'll get any relief. They're probably going to do a whole bunch of stuff to block any sort of protections from evictions. It might get pretty ugly, especially because while Pelosi's been advocating for a $2.2 trillion stimulus, Mitch McConnell's been trying to get that lowered down to like $500 billion, which is going to do absolutely nothing in terms of fixing the economy. Even most of the Keynesian economists, the, more centrist, right-leaning economists are saying that there needs to be stimulus, but the right-wing free market types are just going, no, we don't need to do anything. The economy's fine. Everybody's fine, right? I mean, the court situation is horrible. The Supreme Court's always been a flawed institution. Oh yeah, and just as COVID's fake news, right? No, the Supreme Court's always been kind of a messed up institution. There's no real justice in the Supreme Court. You're always going to get a situation where 9 people are essentially choosing the entire belief system of a country based on some quote-unquote superiority. And I think, King John, you might have been the one that left the message on one of my videos, how basically the Supreme Court's been an issue since the Three-Fifths Compromise, right? The fact that that's still that was left constitutional. Yeah, well, that's the thing also, right, Rose? The fact that you have 6 people able to make entire decisions for people in the country. Like, 6 people can determine whether or not women or people with a uterus and who can get pregnant are able to get abortions legally in this country. No, it's never really been a democracy. I mean, that was kind of the point. The Federalists set that up that way. People like Alexander Hamilton and James Madison and John Jay, when they wrote the Federalist Papers, were advocating strictly against democracy. The thing that I always find funny is that people are constantly worried about this idea of, like, the tyranny of the majority, the 51% telling the 49% what to do. But wouldn't you argue that 51% of the people getting their way is better than, like, I don't know, 2%? They don't really compare what that 51 versus 49 split really means. And if you do some sort of ranked or tier voting of any kind, then that ranked or tier voting would mean that more people than that 51% would almost be guaranteed to get representation. Repealing many rights we fought for so long. Yeah, Roe v. Wade being the hot topic. 2 of the judges he put on the seat during his presidency, both are ridiculous. Yeah, and that's the thing that I think a lot of people, for as much as, you know, I'm an anarchist and I'm really against the state, right? These things do end up having effects on the lived experience of people. I'm also a realist, you know? And the unfortunate reality is, even if I don't like state power, it exists. And what I've come to realize in the past few years, especially, is that not voting for the lesser evil can lead to situations where something like having 2 people in the courts that really hurt us are put in place. How is Oscar getting out of the house? One of them thinks our law is based on civic law and not common law, which changes. Amy Barrett's one of them, which is ridiculous at hearing. Okay, so my feeling on stacking the court. So I have both a realistic understanding and kind of what I would find hilarious. And I know this isn't something Biden would never do. And the Democrats would never do this. But I think we should expand the Supreme Court to encompass every single citizen in the United States and make the Supreme Court a democracy. I think everybody gets to be a Supreme Court justice. That's the true anarchist way. But in all seriousness, I don't think that expanding the court is really going to help. I think that if we do end up in the place where the court gets expanded, the Republicans are just going to expand it further if they get power again. And you're going to see, like, almost an arms race of expansion of the Supreme Court. And maybe that's a good thing over time. I don't know. But it's going to be this, like, ridiculous thing. Yeah, having a life term as a judge is kind of ridiculous. Jedi, welcome. Yeah, I don't think having it democratized is a bad idea either. Putting some of these things up to referendum would probably be helpful. You want to know why? Because most people in this country still support Roe v. Wade. Most people in this country support the legalization of marijuana. Most people in this country support a lot of the more, like, center-left leaning positions, even if they don't realize that they're center-left positions. Which one's Citizen United again? Base Cat, are you stuck? Oh yeah. You know, I was actually watching an interview that I think Biden had done years ago, where he actually spoke out against letting just rampant use of funds like that, because it actually prevented democracy. And this is talking back, way back. Like, I know he's got a lot of bad policies from way back, but that was one of the ones that was more based. There's no way when you can buy a government position, essentially, that it's fair for everyone. It just goes to prove some votes count more, right? When you can manipulate people like that. Also, thank you for reminding me which one Citizens United is. There's just so many court cases, I can't even, like, keep track of them all. And, like, I know a lot of the rulings, but keeping a track of the specifics of each particular case with their name and associating it sometimes, like, eludes me. I would love to see him get some campaign finance reforms through. I mean, King John also, the US has always been a bit of an oligarchy, right? Like, that was kind of the point. If you've ever read People's History of the United States by Zen, he kind of outlines how, the founders of the United States Skylar, I don't know if he said that. I did not hear that quote. Nothing surprises me. You're reading People's History right now. Yeah, it's an amazing book. I read it when I was in high school. Surprisingly, I don't think it really took to me when I was in high school, but other things radicalized me. Mostly my lived experience. But I still ended up walking out with a lot of the mythos and stuff. I am also not finding this, station. This carving station. I've been looking all over. But yeah, what I was getting at before, King John, the plutocracy and oligarchy, like, that's been built into the system since the beginning. It was a bunch of people trying to get away from the United Kingdom so they could make money. Like, there was a lot of talk about freedom and liberty, but that really meant being able to have property rights. It really didn't have to do with people actually being free. When you say you were an arrogant libertarian, I'm assuming you mean the US definition of libertarian. Because, if there's anyone here not from the US, libertarian out of the US is very different meaning. Libertarian is actually what we would typically call anarchist, or leftist thinking in Europe. Which is funny because they actually co-opted that word so that they could take that meaning. Ooh, Gary Johnson supporter, yeah. Well, you know what? Do you identify as a leftist now? Also, yeah, it is definitely good that they are putting that in high schools to give that perspective. And you know what? Like, I feel like at 15, you know, I had a lot of growing to do. I think we all have a lot of growing to do. Sometimes I think people forget that we all live in capitalism. We all live in these really abusive and terrible systems. And sometimes we get really bad ideas from that. Whether it's nationalism or anything. Like, sometimes even imperialist tendencies, racist tendencies, they're built into the structures of the system so much that we don't even notice them sometimes. I'm gonna go get rocks since I can't find all this other stuff. And when all that stuff's like built in, we pick that up. We internalize it a bit. And so, you know, when we're impressionable teens, especially, and kids, it's easy to fall into that mindset and not recognize some of the aspects of ourselves. But I believe that when we reach adulthood and we're better at critically analyzing from years of practice and wisdom and experience, that we should move in the direction of trying to rid ourselves of some of that programming, right? So it's good that you started moving left. And that you're taking the time now to read Zen. Maybe that just wasn't the time for you to radicalize. To be honest, you held pretty decent views. You were left-wing because your family is left-wing politics. Well, I believe there's a term for that, right? Like, some people are morally lucky. The sense that you grew up with that kind of positioning already around you. And honestly, that's great. You know, it's less work that you have to work through within yourself and within the society around you. So he's embarrassing. Also, yeah, the US really has kind of become a joke worldwide. I feel like when we elected Trump, that kind of solidified that. But I'm also going to be real, we're not the only nation right now that's dealing with this kind of stuff. Poland's been dealing with some really, really intense stuff lately. A lot of conservative movements. They either moved to, or they actually did overturn abortion rights. And Hungary is actually moving in a very similar direction. They have a very conservative, borderline like fascist party that's been trying to push this understanding of like Christian gender roles and all this stuff. Like, I know people spend a lot of time criticizing the US, but we're not the only ones. We're just the big one that's kind of represented. I kind of wish we were the only ones, honestly. I think that would be easier if the rest of the world could just kind of be like, the US is stupid, and that would be the big problem. Yeah, the idea of Christian gender roles is ridiculous. And the way that it was framed in Hungary was basically something to the effect of, people have a right to their traditional gender roles. Which was kind of this, like, bizarre anti-trans rhetoric. Like, trans people are somehow denying Christians the right to their gender identity. And it's always what the right does. They take the terminology of the left and they try to co-opt it into their understanding and movement to make it look like the left is the ones being completely intolerant and unreasonable. When in reality, it's usually the right. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like, when you have this, like, progressive push forward, there's always, like, a backlash, like you said. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, either. The left won't let me be racist, so much for the tolerant left. Agreed. They're criticizing my opinions. It's censorship. My opinions happen to harm entire populations of people. But it's my opinions, and I'm allowed to have them, because free speech, guys. Free speech. Free speech is more important than eating. The hot conservative take. It's easy to spot conservative Christians when they read a verse in the, especially what verse in the Bible they read. Isn't that the truth? And it's like the second they quote Leviticus, you know what's up, right? Bible cringe. I mean, yeah, they're not only taking it out of context, they're also being real selective about things, right? Like, if you're Christian and you cannot understand that Jesus literally was against the money changers at the temple and flipped the table and did all that stuff, like, what are you even on about? How do you even identify as a Christian at that point? Dude literally, like, made a whole commune of people that were spending time outside of the outside of Judea and just being like, we're just gonna chill here. Coming up with alternative ways to feed people. Removing them from the political power of the Roman government. Actually, yeah, Jesus was kind of an anarchist. Something easier for a camel to fit through the hole of a needle than a rich man to get into heaven. True. Among the academic, even Christians who study history of Israel said it's a forgery. Leviticus is a forgery? Is that what you're saying? Because I had not heard that. Oh, wow. Game? Okay. I mean, none of it surprises me. Most of the texts of the Bible were put together under Constantine. And they picked and chose which ones suited the imperial leadership of Rome at the time. So I'm not really surprised that some of the texts were either added in or manipulated or twisted. And they specifically took out the text from Mary Magdalene and Constantine. It was Constantine, right? The one who united Christianity into Rome. Yeah, the first Christian Roman emperor. I was right. Cool. Basically, they had this huge meeting and was like, which books get to go in? And of course, all the ones that were pro-women kind of got pushed to the side. You know, given that women were some of the major, what's the word? Proponents of Christ in the early years to spread the religion. Yeah, all the early Christians were pretty much women. And, like, the text of, like, the Gospel of Mary was just pushed to the side. The Gospel of Mary is one of the, what's known as, I think the term for it is apocryphal texts, where, and it was removed from the larger context of the Bible. There were actually a lot of books that were removed from the Bible when it was created. Like, there was all these different works being put together, and the Gospel of Mary was one of them. Yeah, that whole line about Mary and the sex worker was, from what I understood, misrepresented. That Mary Magdalene was probably not the sex worker. Yeah, the sex worker wasn't named. But people kind of saw them in the same verse and were just like... or in verses right next to each other and just kind of combined the two. But the truth is, like... which part do you need explained, Skylar? The, whole understanding of Jesus is essentially a person who hung out with the sick, hung out with people who were sex workers, hung out with people who were just not accepted by society. How do you read that as a conservative and just say that's your Jesus? Dude had way more in common with anarchists of today than anybody else. That is also true. Mary Magdalene having a full name in the way that she is denoted does represent a certain status in society. I forgot about that historical context. Thank you, Em. Skylar, are you talking about the Gospel of Mary? Or are you talking about the... I am not familiar with the Gospel of Mary's actual, like, the actual text of the document. So I could not actually explain all that to you. I just know that it's generally purported as being largely, from a modern standpoint, feminist, compared to a lot of the other books of the Bible. I guess I know more about it than I know what it actually says, like, the fact that it exists. If anybody in chat has read it, please by all means, fill us in. Both Jesus and John the Baptist were radicals. John basically wanted to expand Judaism. That included everyone not those ethnically related. John was a rabbi. I mean, yeah. The idea also that a common person could perform a baptism. Base Cat brought us another gift? What did you... You are just a carpenter kitty. You are the best carpenter kitty. Base Cat has carpenter skills. Jesus was a carpenter too, right? Maybe Base Cat is truly holy. It's God Kitty. Let's go feed God Kitty. Base Cat is the second coming. There was general anger that Jesus would talk and teach women the way that he was... Yeah, there was complete outrage for him teaching women. And honestly, there's only one reason you don't want an educated population, and that's to control people, generally. Education is important. There's nothing quite like denying a person access to information to be able to make yourself look superior to them. And like, I'm not saying everybody has to have like education in the same areas or anything, but critical thinking skills are important. Being able to focus oneself enough to, generally speaking, relatively logically reason throughout the things that you do, and to check sources and check materials and look through things. That is some of the most important stuff. Base Cat is floating in a window. This cat is God. You're all seeing this, right? Oh yeah, with the slaves, what used to happen is they would tell them all this stuff about how the white people were superior, the slave masters were superior, and the people of color needed them. And once some of them started, like, actually looking at the text, they identified with Moses. Like, why can't we be free? Yeah, you can critically think for yourself, and honestly, having access to something like being able to deal with even basic math meant that you could deal with the economics of the day. You know, it's really easy to scam somebody who can't read or who can't count in today's world, or even in the 1800s. The more you were able to prevent people from access to information, the more you're able to manipulate them. And I feel like that's one of the things that ends up happening a lot today. actually through quite an opposite situation. What we often see on the internet right now is that a lot of people are so burdened down by the amount of information that's out there. Like, there's so much to sift through. And people don't check sources. They don't check things. And it enables, like, YouTube channels like PragerU or some of these right-wing Murdoch-based companies to just twist facts and create false equivalencies and just generally manipulate people. I think there was something AOC had mentioned during her recent live stream where she was talking with what's-his-face. I can't remember his name. The person from Canada. I cannot think of his name right now. But they were talking about whether or not Canada had any Murdoch-based media. And AOC, put out a theory. Yes. Singh, right? AOC basically had argued that the Murdoch media in certain countries has actually been a huge part of why there has been such a conservative backlash in the world. That this one person controlling this particular media empire has been able to manipulate so much policy across the world. And I think she had mentioned New Zealand doesn't actually have any Murdoch-based understanding or Murdoch media. And their economy and their everything is just much more left-leaning. And even the conservatives there are still relatively not science deniers and are relatively rational. So I really think that having an education, having critical thinking skills, being able to question what the right-wing media is purporting is really important. And I think a lot of people also have those skills. I think even the people who are like talking about the fraudulent election get that there's something wrong with this country. They're just looking at it from what we all know is the wrong perspective. And even though a lot of them have a lot of issues in terms of being racist and homophobic and everything, I am hopeful that a lot of people can be shifted to the left over time as they realize that the material realities they live in are just not coming through. Let's see, let me just catch up on what you have all been saying while I was talking. A fatal flaw of cat relies so much on having an increasingly educated populace. If the church didn't create a hierarchy, my brother argues Christianity would become similar to Buddhism. Yeah, that whole conversation about Buddhism and Christianity is really fascinating. Like, that's something I'd love to read more on. But didn't Buddhism, some parts of Buddhism also end up with a very similar hierarchical structure where there were certain leaders who were speaking down to people? Am I completely making that up? Because I seem to recall reading about that. I don't even know what I'm... Alright, I should probably take some of this stone and make blocks. Yeah, that's what I thought. Being able to dictate to people. You know, it's actually interesting, as much as a lot of the Protestant faiths today are some of the more conservative sects. The whole point of Martin Luther and what he did and the development of Lutheranism Lutheranism basically was an idea that people should be able to interpret God for themselves. That through things like the printing press being developed and through type print being developed, that more people would be able to commune with God themselves, and that the authority of the Catholic Church did not need to be adhered to. The one that has no God, it's just nirvana and reaching enlightenment. Yeah. So, what is the justification then in the Mahayana sect, then, for the priests having more authority? Women can't reach enlightenment in certain sects of Buddhism? I was not aware of that. I know that there's certain temples that didn't allow for women to go in, too. What's with all the women hate? A society built of only women is possible and would be based. That is true. That is true. I, however, would add one disclaimer that I think, in addition to women, we should keep all of our non-binary peoples. Oh yeah, matrilineal societies have existed. Most of the, well, not, I can't say most, but a good number of indigenous American cultures had some form of matrilineal system. Through bone marrow extraction, you can use some of it to use as sperm cells. Is that true? I have not heard about that. In Eastern religions. Which is fascinating. Didn't have a hierarchy, which is interesting. Yeah, the idea of gods or spirits not having hierarchy is pretty common in the Far East. I am unfortunately not versed in all of that, or well versed in all of that, but that I do know. True enough. Our museum is slowly coming together. I'm gonna go to that mountain. Or actually, I'll end the day and then I'll go to the mountain. Try to push for the 14th so we can go to that portal finally. Some Buddhism. Jalex, you're all about those portals. I told you we wouldn't make it last stream, but we should probably make it this time, I think. I'm hoping. We're making good time on it. We're only a few days away. It's almost like an understanding that, you know, we're all part of the same cosmic material seems to be understood by a lot of cultures that have communal thinking. Well, we're only like 4 days away from the portal, so it should happen. Also, I'm about to destroy a mountain. Remember that? Oh my goodness. My father was obsessed with Ancient Aliens and used to talk to me all about it. And it was the most ridiculous sets of theories and explanations for everything. Like, I have no doubt that a lot of ancient cultures had technologies that, and thought patterns and understandings of the universe that were okay. My father, one, is no longer alive, so his political alignment is kind of irrelevant. But when he was alive, he had this bizarre in-between of enjoying very liberal principles for himself and for nobody else. He was very, very selfish. He was the kind of person who would call somebody who voted for gay rights a one-issue voter, but then got upset when anybody infringed on his rights. I don't know how you define that political spectrum. Selfishitarian or something? I don't know. So capitalist? Even though he was way in favor of social programs? I don't know. I don't know how to describe him. Oh yeah, no, completely. I mean, the Egyptians had concepts of, like, major surgeries. There's, you know, the whole understanding that the, you know, Greeks are somehow identified as the Western world in the modern era, for example, right? But back in the day, they would have been considered the Occident. Sorry, the Orient, not the Occident. And we've just kind of shifted the definition for what Europe was and whiteness was over time in order to create this illusion that, the West created everything. But Egypt has kind of been that one area where the Greeks took a lot of ideas from, including probably the scientific method, that even though the West has always wanted to claim, it can't because it's in Africa. And of course the West can't have anything to do with Africa. But Egypt had enough of an analysis. Yes, the Phoenicians as well. The Egyptians had enough of a knowledge of the scientific method to functionally create surgical procedures. Like, you cannot tell me that that is not a society that has had something akin to the scientific method. They understood the cause and effect. Oh yeah, totally. It was just the aliens. Aliens did it. I mean, the Egyptians were able to embalm mummies. You need some concept of surgical understanding. And what do you think they did with the brains when they took them out of the bodies to embalm? You know, they took the brains out through the noses. Do you think they just left them there? Because if I was somebody just curious about the world, and I pulled a brain out of a human body, don't you think you'd examine it? Don't you think you'd explore what it is and how it functions? Like, if it's already there, and maybe they didn't have the technology or the level of medicine to fully examine it and explore it, but human curiosity goes a long way. And if you're already in the process of embalming people and having that level of knowledge, you'd have to think that you have a decent understanding of medical expertise in exploring the human body. But like you all said, it was aliens. You know, that one hieroglyphic that looks kind of like a helicopter proved it. What disability did Alexander the Great suffer from? Also, wasn't he, at the very least, not straight? Like, I feel like he would have been pansexual in today's world. Yeah. Like, in today's world, I definitely think he would have been identifying as pansexual. Physics and leverage don't exist. Clearly, moving stone blocks can only be done by aliens. Let's see. On the topic, I had an argument. What was the argument with your, mom and grandma about? You know, nobody can remake the pyramids. The pyramids must have been done by the aliens. It's not like they were massive undertakings that took literal years to build. Humans are... I don't believe humans are lazy, Jalix, at all. People would do things without capitalism. Actually, if you want to learn a little bit more about that, you should check out the video I'm putting up for tomorrow. And maybe you can even use that to get some talking points, because I'm going to be talking a little bit about about communal living. It's kind of relevant to the topic. Oh, the notion of masculinity is absolutely absurd. That is true, Krog. Very few societies did, in fact, develop after capitalism. In fact, I think capitalism did a lot to destroy cultures and societies over time. Tutor, welcome. The world building of QAnon. I tend to stay out of their lore as much as possible. But what I do know is that they just keep creating this, like, really bad fanfic about reality. I feel like they are a bunch of fanfiction writers who got really bored and just started making stuff up and enjoy the attention from each other. Yeah, where is the Silmarillion? I can Tolkien. I mean, when you ask people who are in a capital society, like, what do they identify with? What is their culture? There's really not much to say, right? Especially in this day and age. It's the purchasing and selling of commodified goods and services. That doesn't feel like culture to me. And that doesn't mean that nothing good came of capitalism ever. I still think capitalism was a huge improvement over feudalism and mercantilism. But some of the uniqueness of experiences have definitely gone away. QAnon got a hold of the German right? Wow. Krog, completely based. Capitalism was a necessary stepping stone, and feudalism was a necessary stepping stone from any Roman slave economy. The one point I would disagree with you on as an anarchist is I think we should just skip right past socialism right into anarchy and communism. But I'm gonna be real. If socialism ends up being the way, I'm not gonna be complaining. As long as we get to that end goal, that communism, I'm good. Though I would argue that communal societies did pre-exist outside of the West. Separate from all of those things. I think Europe's particular path was the one that required Roman slave economies to turn into feudalism, to turn into capitalism, etc. Skylar, why do you not like communism? What about communism bothers you? Versus socialism? I was really disappointed. there are QAnon rallies in Canada. What is with like, I feel like right-wing Canadians just want to be in the United States. Every time I hear them talk, it sounds like they're more interested in US politics than Canadian politics. Is that just me? Yes, societies were communal for tens of thousands of years. So here's something I actually want to ask King John. What is your take on the issue that's been going on with Cyberpunk 2077 with the character who looks trans or whatever, that image that's been out there? Because I've seen the image and I've heard about it, but I've not actually had time to look into it myself. Because I heard there were a lot of people kind of complaining back and forth whether or not it was, supposedly it was an in-game character. Well, that's what I had heard. And I know some people have been arguing that it was transphobic, and others have been kind of chill about it, saying that it was nice to see themselves represented, and I don't know the arguments for either perspective. Also, 3 more days for portals. I actually don't know what was transphobic about the actual character. That's, I guess, what I'm kind of putting it out there. I think some of it had something... I think there was some argument or perspective, or what I would imagine that some of the arguments and perspective would be, is that it's exploitative. That it's problematic because it's exploiting and or possibly causing harm and or damage. And I've also heard like the opposite perspective, that it's representation. And I agree that waiting for the game to come out is probably best. But the truth is anytime you have like a video game in your capitalism, there's going to be a small amount of exploitation, no matter what. Like, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. Oh, and also, getting back to your gender comment from before, King John, the idea of masculinity and femininity being these, like, rigid, strict things is so new. It is so new. It used to be that children used to wear, like, whether regardless of any gender, were just wearing dresses because it was easier to change diapers. Pink and blue were not these essential colors that they're considered to be today. Like, nothing that is related to gender actually is innate. And I have heard the conservator argument for all of this bounce between that it is innate to actually it's not innate, but you should still dress like a man in a society regardless of anything, or a woman in society regardless of anything. Like, we should just adhere to cultural norms and that should be the end of it. And I feel like it's extremely reductive at best. I mean, I don't know. Do we want to really harken back to a 40s style situation where women are only wearing dresses? And, like, is that the kind of life that they think is comfortable? And like, why are men, especially in this day and age, so... Exactly, they can't give any answer why it's essential. Like, what is so fragile about stuff like that? Like, why are men so often so fragile that something feminine or perceived as feminine, like that's something that's delicate, bothers them to such an extent that they have to get outraged about it? I know I have seen men in my life who have literally been afraid to hold their girlfriend's purse and literally would hold it at arm's length, like standing there, because while they went to use the bathroom or whatever, because it would make them appear not masculine. When a piece of clothing or a bag can make you that uncomfortable, the issue is not the bag anymore. The issue is something a little bit deeper. And weirdly enough, for some reason, George Carlin was trending on Twitter yesterday. And there was a clip I had seen when I was going through some of his clips where he was talking about how fragile masculinity was. Even like then, he was talking about how a lot of the people who pick on underdogs, as he called them, women and gay people and immigrants, I think he included on that when people picked on them, it was because white men were afraid of losing something. And it's absolutely true. George Carlin was a comedian who was famous for pushing the boundary on language. And he was relatively based in terms of his viewpoints. Oh yeah, I saw that clip also, Grog, where Carlin was talking about how the rich own everything. And he was told, oh, you need to come down to earth. And he was like, basically, screw that. I'm going to keep talking. I'm not... Jalix, what do you mean that that you feel wrong somehow? Like, you personally feel wrong when the programming still persists in other people? you feel wrong when you hold something pink or something that's considered girly. Is that more because of your own thing, or is that because of the people around you, do you think? True, King John. AI fiction is also gendered. You're absolutely right. Male AI are super rational, and female AI is, because apparently attaching a sex to a robot makes sense when it doesn't have any reproductive or sexual organs. Whenever they're done, they're this either loving or supportive, or you get the opposite, right? You get the GLaDOS type, where they're manipulative. Like, they still apply the same tropes. They gender the tropes into the AIs. Which, on some bizarre level, also makes sense, because if it was being made by a capitalist, for example, they probably would gender the AIs. I agree, Em. There's nothing wrong in liking the things that you genuinely like. It's about breaking the programming. Jalix, my honest response to you with that is take your time with yourself on that. Because a lot of that internalized shame and guilt, I'm not gonna, be able to solve it for you now or just in general. That's something you're gonna have to work through on your own, in some level, right? But what I will say is that working through that shame and guilt and figuring out where those feelings are coming from might help you grow. So definitely try to take time for yourself and work with yourself on that. Oh, and King John, yeah, whenever robots get emotions, that's when they get scary, right? Because they might have feelings. It's also tied to the fact that feelings are the basis for creating any sort of morality and rationality. And the fear, of course, is that humans will eventually be displaced by the AIs. That's always the horror element of an artificial intelligence story. The idea that the robot will become sentient and will displace us. It actually speaks to that white fragility component, where somebody will rise up and make white men in particular, realize that they are not as important to the universe as they'd like to believe they are. Yeah, Jalix, definitely. Noticing it, thinking about it, taking your time with it also, We're all on our own journeys to try to find ourselves in this whole thing. Exactly, Em. We're not immune to the sicknesses of society, and I think time and... what am I trying to say? Time and a little bit of space to think generally is extremely helpful. Anyone have any based sci-fi book recommendations? I would like those too, Krog. I was reading the Dune series, and that is definitely not based. It's a decent book series, don't get me wrong, but definitely not leftist thinking as far as I'm concerned. I do like how Skynet handled Terminator. Scary part wasn't the AI getting emotional, it was the AI getting seriously. I've only seen the first two Terminator movies, so I don't know what happened with the rest of it. So I'd have to explore that more, Tutor. Yeah, I like, there's 6 movies, right? Like Skylar so said. The Foundation series was really interesting, actually. And that's one I want to take another look at. Since you brought up Asimov. And I feel like the Foundation series was one of those rare instances that the series got better after the trilogy. Reading the prequels and the sequels, the full 7-book series, really made a huge difference. I think Asimov got to be a bit of a better, or I believe Asimov still wrote all 7 of those. Yeah, the trilogy was like really cool. But I believe that especially the sequels to the trilogy had some really, really deep philosophical implications that called into question concepts of communal living and the internet age. It's like I can never get enough stone to build this museum. This museum is gonna be like taking forever. Because I just had to build it out of stone. We're getting there, though. Which one is Dark Fate? We are getting there on this museum. Stone really does seem to take a lot more work than the other blocks. Because the other blocks you can just like make 10 at a time. I don't understand the obsession with the concept that police provide order. Like, I don't understand how we got from the positions of, like, the Black Panther Party, for example, where, you know, the understanding that cops were antagonistic to neighborhoods was already prevalent. I mean, outside of COINTELPRO, what else really shifted that perspective? Because by the 70s, there was already a very, very strong understanding that the police had no vested interest in protecting any group of people except white people. And I mean, even before that, right? Like, the original police departments in the US were centered around catching slaves. They were slave patrols. So, how did we get to this place where it just feels like... I mean, yeah, there was a big cultural glorification of it, but why did people buy into it? Like, how do you make that disconnect in people between looking outside and seeing what's going on and what's on TV? When did TV somehow become more real? True. The stereotype of the cop who breaks the rules and... the years of the war on crime, and probably the drug war, too. Of course, the drug war, which was instigated by certain components of the US government, which, yeah. Oh yeah, the Punisher is completely anti-cop. He's literally killed cops in the comics. And nobody wants to talk about that. I mean, we want to talk about that, but conservatives and cops certainly don't. You know, I think one of the funniest things for me, was that as a little kid, I was really, really into superheroes. And it wasn't until I started getting into, like, more leftist thinking that I started realizing how much the superheroes were supporting the establishment and capitalism. You know, catching crooks who were... Like Spider-Man, for example. He just caught these crooks who were trying to survive, essentially. And how they made these... and I'm not talking about, like, the supervillains or anything like that. I'm talking about the regular, everyday, you know, criminals that he would catch on the street. It does depend on the hero. No, I know what you're saying, but I was, like, really big into Spider-Man as a kid. And I'm thinking particularly about Peter Parker. Venom's an interesting one. I don't know a lot of Venom's solo work. Well, that's the thing, right, Tudor? I think a lot of the rural areas in this country kind of have this area, like, this mentality. And a lot of small towns where they're used to, like, the one or two cops that they kind of interact with on a daily basis, and there might be some accountability. And then when they see things about the police, they're not thinking about these huge police departments that don't have an understanding of any of the communities that they're actually policing, or don't care. Like, I grew up in a neighborhood where there was a lot of police. And not that there were police roaming my neighborhood. The police lived in my neighborhood. And I used to see how they would behave outside of work. And let's just say there's a pattern of behavior that I noticed, where when they got off of work, they didn't always erase a lot of their more fascist tendencies. I think that's the extent that I would want to go into the details on that. Let's see. Batman is rich and he spends money on flashy things and he locks people up in the asylum. Yeah. No, not that it's wrong to, like, enjoy superheroes, right? Or it's bad to enjoy Batman. I don't want to, like, be a complete, like, buzzkill on these things. But I've always kind of taken issue with the fact that Arkham Asylum was what it was. And it always bothered me in particular that Poison Ivy was in there and locked in there because she was she was trying to protect the environment. Like, you had an environmentalist, essentially, that was being locked up in an asylum for her way of thinking by a rich multi, what, billionaire? And you're absolutely right. Superman's villains are tyrants. But whenever Superman's actually made realistic, he becomes the tyrant. And I think there is an appeal to be like this one hero who saves the day against tyrants. But Superman also has the capacity to rule with an iron fist. That is true. Superman was a leftist hero to begin with. I think his character's actually been switched more to the right as he's been rewritten. Cap America is pretty based in general. I mean, the dude punches Nazis. Re-liberalize Superman. Now, Cap's not afraid of punching Nazis. Well, they were all tankies, right? Like, it was the Soviet state he was fighting. And Cap fights Thanos now. Well, I'd argue Thanos is just a pro-eugenics capitalist. And globalist, yeah. A universalist. Iron Man is the worst. Anarchist Captain America is just called Captain. Why did that give me an image of Solid Snake? Like, and I mean Big Boss. Like, having the soldiers state in, what is that? Oh, like Mother Base type situation. Like a soldier for hire kind of thing. I don't know why that popped that into my head. Just seeing Captain America as this grisly Solid Snake figure. Yeah, I have to watch that video. Thanos is a capitalist realist. Also, yeah, the towers that the cops have and the way they treat people. And I did not catch who said it, but was it Tudor? Yeah, Tudor. The way they interact with homeless people, or even just people on the street that they don't deem as worthwhile or human, is absolutely horrendous. But I'd argue with the homeless, that's generally across the board. The level of patronization, patronization? Is that the right way to say that? The way that homeless people are treated in a patronizing fashion by people who just walk by, and even the people who try to help, is absurd. They're people who deserve dignity and respect. But Tudor, wouldn't it be the case that as long as capitalism exists, that anarchism was in a consistent state of war. So he would just be captain. Thanos is eco-fascist. You know, I want to actually just try to figure out what would be the most absurd combination of things. Like, you have anarcho-capitalist, right? Like, that totally does not make sense to me as an understanding of anarchism. But it exists, right? You have things like an eco-fascist, which just kind of sounds absurd. And narco-Mormonism. Oh, were you saying anarcho-Mormonism or anarcho-monarchism? Because both are equally absurd. Marxist Bidenism, yeah. Heard that one before. Anarcho-Bidenism, right? Just keep combining weird left and right perspectives and just go complete Nazbol. I'm an authoritarian libertarian. Also, good news, everyone. We are literally 2 days away from being able to go into the portal. Tutor, that is ridiculous. Anarcho-annihilationism, the greatest theory of all time, which says that if the universe didn't exist, there would be nothing stopping us, and we would abolish the state through the destruction of the entire universe. It is the only based practice. I'll take it one step further in anarchism. You don't want the state? Well, I don't want reality. How about that? Abolish reality. Oh my goodness, yeah, he was. You know who had a philosophy kind of like that? If you played Final Fantasy X, Seymour kind of had something like that going on too. Space-time is an unjustified anarchy. Space-time is an unjustified hierarchy. Yes, the laws of physics just prevent me from being the true anarchist that I am. I want to abolish physics. See, what we didn't know is all the science deniers are just trying to will away climate change by denying its existence. And they're actually the most based anarchists. They're trying to abolish science and scientific principles. We've been wrong this whole time, everyone. Anarcho-divinity. What would that even look like? Anarchy with gods. But if everyone was gods, then would it truly be anarchism? And if everyone was a god, wouldn't it be anarchism? I agree with Krog about Iron Man allowing for the idealization of the Playboy millionaire. People say that they admire him for his smarts, but I wonder how smart he'd be if he didn't have his money. Well, I've said it, I think on stream, but if I haven't, when Robert Downey Jr. was taking that role, he asked what was the inspiration that he was supposed to have. And people basically said, just pretend to be Elon Musk. And the thing is, there's an appreciation for Tony Stark because Tony Stark actually is a genius and actually does build his own inventions. As much of a jerk as he is, and as much as a capitalist as he is. But the fact that he's based on Elon Musk, I think, says more about the persona of Elon Musk. Well, yeah, Iron Man does do good things. He did save the entire world, that's true. And universe. We're not denying that, but he's also a jerk. These are not mutually exclusive things, unfortunately. Not every hero is a good person. But here's the thing also. Nobody talks about the fact that, in the Iron Man story, like, how his father, having all that money and wealth and status, is the reason why he was able to pursue all his talents. Do you know how many people that probably exist in this planet that if they were given access to an education and given access to resources would probably innovate all sorts of technologies? Like, one of the arguments in favor of moving from monarchism into, like, the later system of the beginnings of capitalism is that more people being educated and having access to resources and things would be able to create more new concepts that would evolve the human experience. So how many people do you think are living in a space where they have no access to resources and are actually super geniuses that could have produced all sorts of cool inventions but are limited because of capitalism? Jalix, enjoy sleeping. Thank you for coming out. I am sorry that you are going to miss the portals because I know you were looking forward to it. But the stream is going to be left on my channel, so you can take a look at it whenever you have free time. Good night, Jalix. Wait, Krog, there's an Iron Man story where he puts the planet in a suit. Oh, true. I never thought of it that way, but yeah. And Base Cat, wait, Base Cat's brought us another gift. Another lamp? You are like the coolest cat ever. Electrician, a carpenter. This cat has more science knowledge than... But yeah, I'm definitely hear what you're saying about the social commentary on the character, right? Like that Playboy millionaire figure. And how that's somehow attractive. Yes, Tutor, that chair is shaped like a cat's paw. That was made by Base Cat. Base Cat gave us that. Yeah, Banner's story is one of abuse. You need it, Tutor? I would love to share it with you. Yeah, Professor Hulk is him coming to terms with that abuse. It is the balance between that inner child that was wounded and his adult self coming together and forming a perfect being, like, for himself. I love that narrative. And Skylar, are you surprised? Raycon wants to sell product. Oh, I forgot about the Devil Hulk. Good point. Raycon can hit those highs to make Ben's voice really come out clear. Let's not shame Ben Shapiro for his voice. Let's be better than that. Even if it's true. Yeah, Bruce Banner has multiple personalities, and they're all different representations of different components of his experience. There's so many better things to bully Ben Shapiro over. I am not advocating for the bullying of Ben Shapiro. I am advocating for the destruction of any of his arguments because most of them are rooted in nonsensical thinking practices, but... Let's see, plants are watered. It is the 13th. I am going to put all of our stuff away. So we are prepared for the next day. COVID passed 13 million cases. That's worldwide, I'm assuming? Please tell me that's worldwide and not... in the US, for real? I'm sorry, if I just had a moment of wishful thinking. Not that 13 million across the world is wishful thinking, but to know that that's just in the US is... it's saddening. Like, how? USA has to be the first in everything. The USA feels like the embodiment of the United States is somebody who plays chicken and ends up driving themselves off a cliff just to prove they could do it. Like, that is what the USA feels like to me. As a rule. Driving off a cliff is my constitutional right. Just why, though? Like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Like, I genuinely wonder if we had anywhere near a... Oh, to own the libs, right? If we had anywhere near a competent leadership, if we'd be better off or not. Or if people would have just gone off and done the same type of things. Like, I have to imagine it would have been slightly better. Why do I have 2 yellow bunny phones? Why do phones just appear in my yard? Is that your phone, Base Cat? Think somebody's trying to spy on me. Base Cat just keeps giving me furniture. Acorn. Green leaf. Petal. And acorns. The idiots on TikTok who use Instagram posting to disprove the use of masks against COVID. How bad is that on TikTok and Instagram? Those are 2 forms of social media I cannot deal with. Like, I don't know how to interact with TikTok, honestly. The foundation of liberalism comes from the expansion of the Dutch merchant class in the 1600s. The only acceptable freedoms under liberalism are those that were important to bougie Europeans in 1690. That is true. That is absolutely true, Tutor. Why are you floating? Cut that out. I will let you know if I find your wrench. Now can you stop standing in the space where I'm making stone blocks? Like, I don't understand why their thought process seems to be that they should, just kind of reach a certain place of thinking and then never move past it. I genuinely don't know why certain forms of social media end up more reactionary than others. I feel like all of them have kind of had a reactionary tendency. And I wonder if that's not part of the way that they're modeled. Especially when you have a social media that's designed, like TikTok, for example, where you have these very short clips. And it's really easy. This is a guess, right? Like, I don't actually know. But my guess would be that something like TikTok would be more open to some sort of reactionary thinking because of how short the clips are. It is much easier to make a bold statement that is reactionary and loud and screaming information in 6 to 12 seconds than to actually have time to sit down and rationalize through a conversation. When I used to go to protests, one of the things that we would always sit down and talk about is how we were supposed to take all of the complex theory and philosophy and ideas that we wanted to surround ourselves in and break it down into a 3 to 5 word slogan. You know, something like Black Lives Matter, right? That stands out and says a lot in those 3 words. That didn't just come. As obvious as that statement should be, and as powerful as that statement is, there's a lot of theory behind it. There's a wealth of information behind it, and it had to be brought down to 3 words. And not every issue, it's easy to do that in such a way. So I think that having that shortness and conciseness of reactionary thinking, that they can just say whatever they want in a very short span of time, gives them a lot of leverage and power. Especially when you can manipulate evidence or twist things or make them look counter to what they are. No, freedom of speech never comes with responsibility, King John. You should know that. You're in a conservative area that refuses to wear a mask, and they look at you like you're crazy for wearing it. Ugh. You know, I have literally heard stories where people have been violent towards other people for just wearing masks. Or somebody, when things were first getting bad, somebody would just walk up to you and say, hey, like, can you please wear a mask and, like, respect my space? And there would be threats of violence. Like, what do you... Like, why? What is so terrible about wearing the mask? And the thing is, what is the argument against wearing the mask, honestly? Like, what is a good argument for not wearing the mask? Is uncomfortable? I mean, clothing, when it's not form-fitting or when you can't afford good clothing, can often be uncomfortable, right? But people still have to wear clothes. So what is the argument there? And I think one of the funniest things I've come across is I actually found somebody who made a video that was supposed to be this, like, combination rap rave piece that they put on YouTube that was about anti-mask stuff, like don't wear a mask, it's bad, and all this other stuff. But because it was rave music and because they had flashing lights at the beginning of their video, they put a seizure warning. And I just sat there, kind of baffled. You had the wherewithal to put a seizure warning in front of your video, presumably because it would cause harm to other people who watched your video. That there would be people who would come into contact with your video who could potentially end up in the hospital about not wearing masks. how do you reconcile that? Like, what kind of logical leaps do you need to take to put a seizure warning in front of a video about not wearing masks? I recall watching a press conference in Florida when New York City was just in phase one. The public comments that masks impede their God-given right to breathe freely without obstacles. COVID does violate that right? Great argument. There was a Citations Needed episode about how the gap between the liberal rhetoric and action on climate change can convince people that climate change itself is not real. Well, and the funny thing is one of the things that's been noted as part of the reason New York is spiking again is because a lot of conservatives that were not in New York are starting to come back. And when they were in some of these other places, or they come to visit New York now, they're just bringing the virus with them. It's absolutely absurd. They wanted to crap on New York for so long, and New York can't close its borders now that when they actually had the virus under control, and we're running into more problems. Yeah, the rich people who are trying to come back now. Well, the thing is, restaurants in states up north are really gonna get screwed in the coming months. True. I mean, the fact is, New York City rents are outrageous. If you're familiar with how much, if you've ever watched, like, Louis Rossmann and anything about Right to Repair from him, he's done a lot of videos, and he's capitalist, but for a capitalist, he's pretty awesome, relatively speaking. A lot of what he's been bringing up about the rents in New York is that a small little, like, 2,000 square foot place can run you like $12,000, $15,000 a month for a small business to deal with. And if you're in COVID, that's compounding. The amount of small businesses that are going to go out of business is actually scary. And I'm not somebody... Oh yeah, New York's bailed out so many other states. Like, who are they kidding? So it's not even the fact that the winter's going to mess things up. It's that a lot of the measures for protections for small businesses in general are just going to expire on December 31st. And there's nothing to do about it. There's no way to fix it. There's no way to handle it right now. The amount of people right now who are in a living situation who either cannot afford rent or cannot afford food and are choosing between the two, the amount of people who are choosing between rent and medication, food and medication, is absolutely absurd right now. And there is no relief. And over the course of the year, people have gotten, what, $150 a month in the US? When you bring that $1,200 check across the board, if you're someone who didn't qualify for unemployment. I'm sorry, but $150 a month isn't enough to pay for food. Okay, Tudor, like, I'm not defending Louis Rossmann at all. Like, he's definitely a capitalist. And he is a small business owner, and he's going to have his own vested interests, right? But as far as capitalists go, he's not the worst. And given that he had that view, I think that should tell you what I generally think of capitalists. I think it's time to go in the portals. We're gonna hit the sleep and then go in the portals. Even Trump himself criticized it. I'm excited for the portals too, right? Let's do this. Where are they? Where are they? There they are. We're going pink. This is the first time playing this game also, Krog, so this is all a surprise to me. I mean, you know what's bothering Trump? It's the fact that Cuomo stood up to him. We have just gone in the pink portal. It is happening. We have finally reached it. We are in the land of pink? Whoa. What is... Okay, I'm climbing up top. Do I die if I fall? Should I be concerned? I wish Jalix could have been here too. But hopefully Jalix will watch the file. Ooh, new bug. Okay, am I mistaken? Is that trans flag colors? Do we have trans butterfly? Lunar moth? This is not what I expected. Whoa, what is this? Is this a tiny village? I think they're houses. Guys, we found the tiny windows. We found Trump's tiny windows. Is there supposed to be something else here? Oh my goodness, I just stole a tree. I guess we can go back? Like, what else is here? I'm not breaking these houses. Okay, I'm glad there's no fall damage, because that legit just made me jump. Like, internally. I could, like, I don't have anything to offer the tiny people. Colonial terrorists stealing the natural resources of the native peoples. Yeah, pretty much. I am an anarcho-colonialist. Can I break a piece of the cloud that I'm standing on? I am so afraid to do this. Yeah, okay, bad idea. Pink fairy grass block. Apparently they're fairies. Well, I'm gonna respect their rights. And I'm not going to slaughter their village. Right? The butterflies must be terrifying. I just saved the village. I took one tree as payment. Okay, we found the pink area. I want to go to the stone area. Let's see what's in the stone area. Whoa. Okay. You need a hammer to break that? What is that? Wait, is that a tree made out of fully formed wood blocks? This is one of the portals. You missed me colonizing the fairy world. I'm stealing this fence. This fence is mine. Okay, don't break that. I need the portal to get back. I don't think so, because I had to selectively attack the red fairies, according to the fairies back in town, and I did not see any red fairies. What are these? Are these crystals, or are those mushrooms? I need a hammer to break them. Mushrooms. That's not ominous at all. Let's see. How do I get up there? Build a staircase. Huh. So, like, what is the point of this area? Is it just that there's a lot of places to mine resources, or... I think this is a different cave entrance. What is all that? Why are there multiple portals here? That doesn't... Does this take us back? What? Where am I? What is that? You need a stronger pickaxe to break that? There are stronger pickaxes? This area looks huge. Where am I now? I legit have no idea where I am. Okay. What are these? Marble? Oh, wow. So I guess this is for, like, fancier materials? Clear out some of this marble. You know, I'm just going through portals, colonizing other locations. It's totally normal. I mean, is it technically colonizing if nobody's using the land, or is it just being an anarchist? Where does this lead? Okay, that takes me back. What is this? Whoa. What? Okay, that took me back up. Do I have any predictions for the Senate runoff? I think it's a little too early to tell. I think it's really going to depend on whether or not the Republicans stay angry. If they keep fighting off the election and calling it a farce, I think they're going to end up hurting themselves in the long run, and the Democrats have a shot. Ooh. Okay. That was cute. Yeah, M, for sure. That is something that absolutely drives me nuts when you're asked to have, like, a certain hairstyle or whatever, because it's usually white-presenting hairstyles for people of color. More times than not. Okay. Like, I know, certain professions, like, if you work for an airline, you can often have to deal with stuff like that. And it makes no sense to me why, if you're going to be on an airplane... Oh, what is this? 100 magic light? A blue crystal. I can actually break the blue crystal, so I'm assuming that I can use this to do something. Maybe upgrade my pickaxe or something. So I should try to get as many blue crystals before I pass out. Since I couldn't grab those red ones. At my old job, our general manager made my black friend undo his blonde dye job because it wasn't natural. Really? In my experience, it's usually been the other way around. Where it's like... your hair being, curly can be an issue. If it's, not straightened or doesn't represent a certain thing. A certain, like, very white conservative aesthetic. Limestone. I feel like I didn't even know this game had all this to it. You wear your hair in indigenous now. I know I'm lucky I work in a place that allows you to express. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you're able to express your culture at your workplace. Oh, you know what? That is true. Some places don't want, dyed hair. I didn't even think about that. I wonder what I can use these blue crystals for. For a lot of cultures, hairstyles tell a story and represent something important. Well, yeah, isn't there, there are definitely cultures where, you know, you cut your hair during times of war, or you wear your hair in a certain style to represent the particular experience that you're in at that moment in time, or that your society's in. This is back where the red crystals are. Also based on certain professions dictating. Yeah, there's a lot of assumptions that if you look at, if you dye your hair or you have a certain style, that your professionalism is challenged. Yeah, and you know, what does professional mean? Usually. Like, what did professional mean in your particular case? True enough, and cultures that have tattoos on their face as part of their cultural identity have had to deal with a lot of discrimination around that. Piercings as well, yeah. Uh-oh, starting to feel sleepy, and I'm all the way out here. Methinks we're gonna end up passing out. Because I have no idea where we are. Pick one of the natives. There's no natives. I don't know. If you pass out, you seem to just, like, wake up in the spot that you were in. And I haven't seen really a penalty for it, except that you get more tired the next day. Okay, I found my way somewhere. I don't know what it's going to be if I pass out when I'm, like, out in a portal or something. Oh, we'll find out. It doesn't really look like I lost much of anything. How do I get out of here? Okay, now I know how to get back out. I think. Yep. Ask Oscar. Yeah, he keeps getting in and out of his house with no problem, even though we boxed him in. We're still in the morning hour. No, we're in the afternoon. Okay. Do we want to go to the wood location or that one? Oh, Cookie Cow's got plenty of food left over. I feed Cookie Cow, you know, several times. What is this? Is that a black butterfly? A shadow butterfly? That is so cool. I call it a fly. And a golden beetle. Is this like the island in Animal Crossing? Tropical butterfly. Tropical leaf bug. Shield beetle. Golden beetle. This is definitely the island from Animal Crossing. Skylar, I can't eat the bug. I've tried. I, in fact, do not have any good leftist podcast recommendations at the moment. Time to check the last portal, though. Do they have crickets here? Yeah, you guys can have a picnic of crickets. What is this? Oh, that's brick. Okay. Wood. Is this just like a magical place where there's a bunch of trees? This looks different. You need a stronger axe to chop this. Okay. I'm hoping that whatever those blue crystals were will allow me to improve my weapons somehow, or my tools somehow. You're gonna roast ants? No, just eat them raw. So this is just like an area for, I guess, a different type of wood that you can't really get elsewhere. Some higher tier wood. What's up there? Give me all your natural resources. Wait, those trees look... Are they the same trees? Okay, that's that kind. Can I get up there? I'm assuming they grow back. I hope they grow back. I think I just stranded myself. You only like live ants? I'm just fascinated that there's this, like, advanced type of wood that you can get your hands on if you upgrade your, axe. I don't even know how to upgrade the axe. You want me to eat the wood? I mean, it'd probably be high in fiber. Beaver moment. Okay, before these portals go away, I want to try something. Because I can't cut any of these down. How are you supposed to get up there? Oh, I see over there. Okay, I don't think that's happening. I don't really have enough blocks to build up. Am I the only one that gets that in video games when you jump off like a really high surface? I probably could tunnel up through the rock, but I can't really reach it. I get freaked out when I jump down from heights in video games, and I'm not even afraid of heights. I need to find out what happens. Let's do it. Aw, that's friendly. That was very friendly. I was expecting that to go a lot worse. I think it's the feeling of seeing the ground come near me. So I guess it would be the suspension. Yeah, like when you're falling in a video game, like I just see the ground coming at me and I'm just like, what is going on? I get this instinct to just hold my breath and brace for impact. That's the best way I can describe it. To bench. I want to know what this airship landing thing is. It's usually in 3D games for me, more than 2D games. Wait, can I? Huh. My bridge. Okay, good to know that that's how physics works in this game. Yeah, Mirror's Edge is pretty bad with falling. Wait, am I not able to carry stuff? What can I... realistically give up? Probably these two fossils, I guess. Actually, this... because I can get this elsewhere. Because that's how water works. I have the issue in which I move the controller as my character jumps. Yeah, I could see that also. Is this a signpost? Mine. Oh, I can't carry it. Dang. Alright, I don't need the pink fairy grass. "3D platforming. Ah, you're starting to feel really sleepy. I should probably get back." I have the red Z's. But I broke my bridge back, so I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. I think that pathway will get me back. We did it, though. We made it to the portals. See if we can get back to the house before passing out again. Also did not water the plants because we were out on these portals. I should probably make that happen. Because we need all these watermelons. You're too tired to sprint. You should get some sleep. Sleep is important, everyone. Take breaks and rest often. I gotta water the watermelons, though. You know, 'cause capitalism. I gotta make my money. This is called burnout. This is what you shouldn't do in real life. I'm out of water. I thought I just got water. Space cat. Thank you. Made it. So what did everybody think of the portals? We finally made it. Not as exciting as you hope? I actually like the mine in the wood area. Yeah, they were cool. I wasn't expecting that. Well, I also wonder if there's more to that fairy village. True, I was expecting there to be maybe like another town or something. That would have been cool. I was just curious if it was like Animal Crossing where some of the bugs were worth like a lot of money or something. Nope. Wardrobe. I need another shelf. Anybody got a shelf? Because I have too much stuff. Nope, none of you have it. Okay, maybe the store has it. I'm still glad we got to just check it out and experiment and see what those portals were all about. A shop shelf? You can... Huh. There we go. Storage bookshelf. Oh, right, my inventory's full. Whoops. Hey, base cat. Let's see how Cookie Cow's doing. Cookie Cow? Why did you poop on your food? Let me clean that up. Oh, I can't clean that up because I don't have inventory. Are you sad, Cookie Cow? Aw, she was in distress. I'm sorry, Cookie Cow. I'll clean that up in a moment. Poor thing. Let's see. See if we can get some of our inventory cleared out just a little bit. I kind of want to keep this one mostly building materials. I did not realize I had some raw stone here. There we go. That means I can put this butterfly over here. Normally I'll carry the milker. I feel like I got some cool, like, blocks and stuff. I got marble. And I wonder what these blue crystals are for. We're definitely going to need to put another bookshelf in the bug area. We've almost got our museum done. We're making progress. Slowly but surely we're making progress. Is that toilet paper? That's toilet paper. Okay. Oscar, seriously, how do you get out of your house? What are you doing? Okay. Oscar is an uncomfortable person. Everyone has an Oscar, right? Oh, you know what? I should put the fairy tree. Maybe make Oscar's walls thicker. Skylar, I've already built a massive wall around, and he still gets out of his house. I don't think I can, like, build another wall around. Do you want me to build a double wall around him? I think he just teleports, though. You find yourself looking forward to the insect wing of the museum. Me too. For now, that's my house. Base Cat, you're hungry. I will feed you, Base Cat. 'Cause you make me furniture. And also, I love you. So... Yes. But no. Oscar's not just a counter-revolutionary. Oscar is state police. And, he's under house arrest for rehabilitation. Because we don't exactly have a place to rehabilitate him outside of his own home. I had a calendar this whole time that could have told me that the island portals were a thing. Base Cat. I don't know. Okay, we got... Can we fit it? Yep. Great. Got our own little bug museum going on here. Golden beetle. Fairy dragonfly. A tropical leaf bug. Pastel butterfly. Lunar moth. Shield beetle. A rose snail. This one is so cool, the shadow butterfly. Base Cat? Base Cat, I need to walk past you. Yeah. I need to walk past you, Base Cat. Are you imprisoning me here? I don't think Base Cat wants me to leave, or Base Cat wants to eat all the bugs. I'm not sure which. Base Cat? No, I haven't seen that. Haha, I got past. Let's take cricket, ladybug, red cricket, orchid mantis, white butterfly, rhino beetle, and pink butterfly. And we'll put them all in the bug area. Maybe have Oscar, the cat keep Oscar from leaving the enclosure. Last time, Base Cat was watching over Oscar, and Oscar didn't make it out. So you might be onto something. I believe... Nope, we still have the moth. Can I place this tree in my yard? I can. Base Cat, do you want a tree to give you shade? I stole it from the fairy people. You know, when I say that out loud, I sound like a jerk. Let's see. Can pick up these. Place them down here. And just put the rest of the building materials here. Bridge floors. I don't know why I took that bridge. Or the fence. I just feel like I went full, like, theft mode. There we go. We have some organization happening. There we go. Oh, I forgot to put the fly in the other place. I will fix that. Yeah, I'm gonna need more bookcases soon. A never-ending supply of bookcases. Might also have to expand the bug house. We've got plenty of meals for you, Skylar. I don't think there's any actual books in the game that I've come across. I feel like I'm seeing the start of watermelons grow in here. These things take a long time to grow. I've been growing them since the first of the month. I'm out of water. Refilling the water. Oh, did this one die? I think this one might have died. Oh no. You're fed, you're fed. We have a fairy tree. Everything's put away. Watered plants. Base cat is based. Let's do a sleep. Actually, that's a really good question. I should check if there are sprinklers. That would probably be really helpful, right? I didn't even think about that. Base cat. You just keep following me around the yard. I'm hoping that the watermelons give a good amount of, petals. As I basically, monocrop this. $5,200, what? That's expensive. It would save so much time there. See, this is capitalism for you. The technology exists, and I cannot achieve the maximum efficiency with my farm because I can't afford the technology. I have to work so much harder because I can't afford a piece of technology that exists. Full-blown evil capitalism. True, similar to medications. I should milk Comrade Cow. Right in the doorway. Comrade Cow, you had a lot of milk today. Are these, like, plants or weeds growing in? There we go. I'm gonna give the museum a black door. Where should we put the entrance? I need to get inside of that. I should probably dig up some ground to... Oh, I have some ground. There we go. So I can look at it from the inside. Okay. Where's the signpost? Over there. How about right here? How do we feel about right there? How big do we need for a door frame? Okay, no. Door frame. There we go. Door frame. Does the door not want to go there? Am I missing something? Shouldn't the door go in the door frame? Or does this door already have its own door frame? I think this door has its own door frame. We have a door on the museum. We are getting there. I gotta see what kind of floor tiles to put in the center. What kind of floor tiles can I make? Limestone brick. Marble brick. A white stone block. Raw stone and mortar. Oh, what is that? A hardened watering can? 5 blue crystals. I was right about the blue crystals. A watering can, a jar of water, 2 green leaves. That's a lot of stuff. Sheet metal, star bits, fine lumber, nails, blue crystals. Assemble 6 blue crystal, 2 blue crystals, 2 nails. Oh wow. These are probably doable. I don't think it's a today thing. Have a good night, Tutor. I'm probably going to be, honestly, wrapping up in a few minutes anyway. Thank you for coming out. It was a lot of fun. having you here. Let's get some. My exactly 666 raw stone. Based. That's funny. Are there any blueprints that I can buy for some sort of stone floor? Or maybe buy some white stone flooring for the museum? Let's see. Those are stone blocks. Carpet. White brick pathway. I feel like that could work for the museum. For the center area. I just don't think I don't know if I have enough petals to get enough to do that, but let's try it. 30, let's see if that's enough. Probably not. Oh, okay. You're looking at the ground. Actually, I feel like that looks kind of nice. I'm definitely gonna need more of these. Okay, time to go buy more. I'm counting on those watermelons. Where was that? Right here. I'm about to run out of muns. That's okay, I still have plenty of money, or plenty of food for Base Cat and Cookie Cow. And Cookie Cow's gonna give us more milk tomorrow. So everything's gonna be fine. Just finish up this floor. I'm probably gonna run just short. Yep. It's okay, that's still progress. That is still progress. You know, I could just make the roof out of that. And I still have 16 of this. Hold up. Idea time. Idea time indeed. The Lincoln Project? That's that Republican... Is that the Republican group? I generally don't have an opinion on them, to be honest. Okay, I feel like that looks kind of cool, actually. You think Republicans who don't support Trump can be misinformed or just rich and not support fascism? Well, I mean, by definition, a lot of them were trying to vote for... If they were informed more, they could be Dems, maybe? I mean, that's probably true. But I also question at this point, then why be a Republican? What? Oscar just teleported. I just saw that. I don't think thicker walls are gonna fix what I just saw. I tried trapping him. That didn't work. Let's finish up this. Oh, actually, that doesn't look very good, does it? No, that really doesn't. Alright, we're gonna have to get more stone next time. And we can finish that floor up. Actually, idea time. Where is my hammer? There it is. As hard as I have had to work on this museum, I am putting my initial on it. Oh, this is not centered at all. Wow, I really messed that up. Thought that was centered. 3. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Actually, it is center. Am I missing something? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3. Okay. I think we're okay then. There's a T on the floor for Tara, but that looks so uneven. It's weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Nope, that's even. Okay, I probably just gotta fill this in to make it look better. But I think with going to bed here, I am gonna wrap up and call it a stream. Let's pet Base Cat one more time. Say goodnight, Base Cat. Night, Base Cat. That's right, Cookie Cow. You are a true comrade. Well, thank you all for coming out, for watching this, for exploring the portals with me. It was a lot of fun. I will be doing this again next Sunday, picking up from where we left off. I'm really glad you all enjoyed. Frog, Vamp, M, Skylar, thank you all for coming out. It was definitely a lot of fun. It was chill. And I'm glad we got to talk some politics, some serious issues with a nice balance of going on an adventure and working on that museum. Hopefully next time we finish that museum up. And figure out how to make that bait box, because I never figured out how to do that. I'll probably check the wiki before we stream next time. Oh wait, Base Cat brought us a gift. We gotta get that first. Base Cat doesn't want the stream to end. Base Cat brought us more sunglasses. Because Base Cat is cool. So everyone, I hope you have a good time zone, have a good night, whatever, wherever you are. And I wish you all the best. And I appreciate you all coming out and checking out my stream. Take care, everyone.